Thank you.
Swapnil Kothari, a rather honest admission by NCB DG that there were mistakes and it's a case of course correction.
Maria, that was a very, very pleasant and a nice interview, and I like, the tenor and the tone of your questions, quite incisive questions, and that's the exact way that you need to make those investigative questions, and it is a great thing that you've done. You've tried to elicit the answers out of, the DG, and he's been very cautious and guarded enough, being the professional that he is. Now, as far as the investigation aspect is concerned, Maria, I have a little bit of a difference here from the stand that has been taken by most of the people, that it's a very slippery slope when it comes to the NDPS Act. And if I were to tell Mr. Wankhede that this is what you have done, and you've been a little bit over enthusiastic, and you've not exactly got the enough sufficient evidence as per the SIT report so as to form a reasonable suspicion, so as to go ahead and make arrests. And I'm not only talking of arrest of Mr. Khan, but even everybody else. He's going to quote an NDPS Act to me and saying that, Mr. Kothari, let me tell you something. There were drugs found on the Cordelia cruise, not almonds and cashew nuts. 2, I have got full powers under the NDPS Act to form a reasonable suspicion, and I had enough evidence at hand, and that is where the Vigilance Commission will decide whether I did not or I did not. So the thing is, let me finish. And the third thing, he is going to definitely come out and tell me that this is an act under which, as Mr. Pradhan pointed out, that you are guilty until proven innocent. So the burden of proof lies on the accused.
Yes.
Now, if you want the legislation to be changed, to go to the parliament. Otherwise, I'm there as an officer. I've made several arrests, and I'm not fancied or enamored by any celebrities. It's not the first time that I'm arresting someone. And if that is the case, then this is what I will pay.
But Swapnil,
so this is
what
also
a case of an officer who is on a celebrity hunt, and he's almost let loose by the agency.
Maria,
the question is, shouldn't he have been reined in earlier? The signs had started coming in from Sushant Singh Rajput case. Then followed questioning of the A-listers. All of them were summoned to the NCB office in Mumbai. Akashdeep.
Right.
Maria, I'd like to correct my dear friend Swapnil, and I've had this ongoing debate regarding this topic even at the time when this was hot news. I think Samir Wankhede has overreached, and it is a well-known fact in Bollywood circles that for some strange unknown reason, he targets Bollywood, and that's been the case in his earlier deputations also at other levels. And Mr. Pradhan was very guarded, although I appreciate that he had the courage to admit that there were irregularities, but he still waits for the SIT report, where the Supreme Court has already given a clean chit. No kind of SIT is above a Supreme Court verdict. And when the Supreme Court acquits them with a clean chit, I think that gives an answer to any possible question. Don't wait for any SIT. Swapnil, it was a witch hunt. It was a planned arrest. We kept saying it. Everyone said, no big star is above the law. When did the big star himself say he's above the law? His stoic silence was the hallmark of the fact that any parent, if my son would have been arrested with such flimsy charges, I would have gone hammer and tongs. I would have screamed at the media. Shah Rukh maintained a silence, didn't even visit his son for weeks together, waited for law to take its own course. And today to say that, oh, Mr. Wankhede tried his best, he did his best. No, sir. He's been anti-Bollywood from day one, even when at the customs. It's a known fact, Swapnil.
I've got your point. Now let me first correct you.
Look at the way that Mr. Last line, Swapnil, last line. See what kind of a face saver Mr. Pradhan had to do. Why? All because of the wrong approach, the wrong handling, the overreach by their own officer. That answers everything.
Now, 7 months, and after those 7 months, it is said there is no evidence. There were procedural flaws that were evident. There was everything wrong with the investigation. At the time, no drugs were found on him. No test was conducted to ascertain if he was actually someone who consumed it. And then came the entire theory that he was part of some kind of international syndicate. If this is not witch hunt, then what is?
Absurd.
Now, yes. Exactly. Let me. First of all, Akashdeep is a very dear friend of mine. Supreme Court has not given him the clean sheet. It was the Bombay High Court that did. So just to correct you there.
Sorry.
Regardless, and let me tell you, giving up someone a bail does not mean a clean sheet. So that is there the way it stood. Bail. There are several people who are out on bail, but that doesn't mean it's the personal liberty. And you know all those things. So I will not go into those details as to what is the meaning of personal liberty after 2 or 3 weeks of incarceration. Okay. Now the fact is that the SIT has done its job. It has given its report. It has done a course correction. It feels that somewhere there was some amount of over enthusiasm. There was no malfeasance or malafide so as to extract extortion money or anything of that sort. So I don't buy that theory either.
That also came up. That also came up in the hearing.
Exactly, extortion. But I don't. It's not. So let's not jump the gun there. Let it be.
Oh no!
Because
it's still on the table.
You cannot malign.
It's still on the table.
You cannot malign
you
someone.
could malign Aryan. But you could malign Aryan, and we can't make those charges. Come on.
May I finish? I can understand your excitement, Akashdeep. I completely understand you're a part of politics.
I'm happy that we were vindicated.
Nobody is maligning anybody. I'm not maligning. I never maligned anybody. Forget Mr. Khan for all that matter. For me, the question is that individual liberty matters for everybody, including not only Mr. Khan, but even the other two. What has happened to the other two people? Why have they been charged yet? Why have they not been given a clean sheet? Damecha and that Arbaz merchant. So there are these questions which we will all come to know when it comes. The SIT report comes out and the vigilance report also comes out.
Okay,
so I am not saying. I am not saying. My last sentence. I am not saying that Mr. Wankhede was not wrong, but I would not want to pigeonhole an investigating agency just because out of 100 cases, one case seems to suffer from irregularities. And the reason why we are asking him is, he's going to say, why are you asking me just because I arrested a celebrity's son? I must have made several mistakes earlier.
No, the entire approach towards celebrities from day one on every case.
Okay, B.V. Kumar,
because of his approach against,
I'm going to come back to both of you.
Celebs.